Okay guys, welcome back to the third tutorial of our HTML and CSS journey, and today we are going to be talking about the HTML form label. And HTML form label is an inline element which we are going to be explaining how it works. It can be associated with form element or form control like an input, text area, and select for accessibility purpose. What it works for is like it's just like to give a user what to input apart from this placeholder that we used on our last tutorial. And the label is most common use on a website. And what I mean by input, we've already talked about input element, but text area we haven't talked about it, so we're going to talk about that later. And select is just like a drop down menu for where user can select from the option available. And also, okay, that's all. So now let's get started. Let's clean this up and let's start our form right here. So in our last tutorial we stop at the input feed where we talk about how this form work, and we create a form handler which is not a real form handler. It's just like the demo form handler, just for us to know if our form is being submitted successfully. So you need a backend for this. You can learn backend, and I may probably cheat it in the future, but for now I'm not cheating. So now let's get started. So the form label, let me just clear this up. So form label, after you create your form element, so inside it you have to input your label. So the label, let's say for name attribute, this is an attribute, right? So now let's close it. Inside this label, let's say first name. So and under this label we can create our input and say it's input. So we create our input. Okay, let's say type, which will be text. I already talked about this. So now you can use a placeholder if you want. It's not necessary. Let's say first, let me just say GOE. Let me see something like this. Now let's preview our code right here. So as you can see right now, the first name is in front of what the input, so user will know what to enter. So okay, my first name is Malik. So that's it. Can you see how a label works now? You can just put some double column right here, so it seems more professional, and a space. So if I reload now, as you can see, it's look a bit good now, and the user will my first name, type your first name. Do you understand that? So you can repeat this process. It depends on how long the form is. Okay. And there's another way. In some form, they won't use it like this. Instead of them to close the label like this, they will just close it at the end of it like this. So they will close it right here. Can you see? This is the label, right? Inside the label, they will now put the input. It will still work the same exact way. Where's our preview? Can you still see it work the same exact way, despite the fact that the closing tags of this label is at the end of the input? It still work exactly, even though if it is in the front, like it closed before the input, it still work exactly the same. It depends on your preference. So but I prefer this for me to understand which label is meant for which element, input element. Okay. So I'm going to be introducing you to the types of inputs that we have. I told you in our last tutorial that there are a lot of input type, right? And before we dive into it, I think I'll end this video right here. But let me give you some input types so you get ready on our next tutorial. So because that input type, I just want to use a single video to explain it. I'll be posting the video very soon. This video isn't long, maybe like a 5 minute video, so I'm going to post another video very soon. So the type is just simple. Instead of using type, it can be, instead of using text, it can be number, stuff like that. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you maybe tomorrow. I'll post the video because I can't keep you waiting for long. Bye.